Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this panel. We know that our seller community loves to learn firsthand from each other, from other sellers. And this training session today is all about how I built my business. And I'll be asking 3 top sellers how they built and scaled their businesses, and we'll find out what helped fuel their success. The topics we'll talk about today include tips and tricks for sourcing, managing inventory, marketing, customer service best practices. We'll cover everything. Now I'd like to introduce you to today's panel, and we're actually going to play each of their seller spotlight videos as a way for you all to get to know more about them. First up, we have Jim. Jim calls his specialty a dying art. Though he says clock and clock repair shops are shrinking in number, Jim's eBay business keeps growing.
I always thought there was a mystery about these clock movements, and when I started learning about it, the mystery disappeared, and I got hooked really, really hard. I'm obsessed with watches and clocks, but it is a dying art. We're buying stuff because otherwise it'll end in a landfill. My name's Jim Rodman, and my eBay store is JR Clocker. Well, one thing I knew I wanted to work for myself. In 1992, we opened a clock shop, and it just took off. And then my wife got a big opportunity to get a huge job promotion, but you have to move. It was very hard to leave the clock shop. It was like my second home, but this was a big opportunity for my wife, and that's where I discovered eBay. It was great. I could work at home, and I got to spend a bunch of time with my kids. There's a picture of Jeff and I working at a bench when he was really little. I'd come home from an auction and he'd want to see the watches I got. All of a sudden, that's what he loved to do. eBay was really rolling at that point in time, but I always kind of kept it in check a little bit because we may have to move. And then my wife said, I'm getting ready to retire. It's your turn. I started ramping up the business. In the last year and a half, we've bought 3 clock shops and a watch shop. 4,500 square feet of inventory. We had to find all kinds of places to store this stuff. We went from having 400 or 500 items up on eBay. Today, I think we're at just under 2,543. That's the way you do it. You just taught me something. My main job right now is to make the business so Jeff can take it over. Spinning around, take a look at your work. Not bad at all. To have Jeff with me, oh my goodness, we just have a ball. It's absolutely family business. I just want to see it continue.
Thanks for joining us today. You certainly have no problem running your business from wherever you decide to live. When did you realize that you could turn your interest in clocks into a career?
Well, it all started in the beginning with a brick and mortar shop that we had in Muncie, Pennsylvania. And then my wife got a big promotion, and we had always decided that we were going to go in her direction. Fortunately, we had been selling on eBay for about a year when that happened, and I felt that we could just change the business from brick and mortar to eBay, and it worked. In 2015, my wife decided to retire, so we really ramped up the business at that point. And I am sitting right now in a building we just bought, and we're going back to the brick and mortar with the emphasis that eBay will do everything. We never have to worry about it, but we can have some fun, and I can teach my son.
Great. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Linda. Linda was an attorney, and she left her career to pursue selling designer pieces on eBay. That's where her true passion was. Today, Linda's stuff has become one of the top sources for fashion and accessories on eBay, and she has over 100,000 square feet of inventory in her warehouse. Let's watch.
In our warehouse now, we have over 100,000 items, but it started as this one-woman show in my house. My name is Linda Lightman, and I'm an eBay seller. When I was in college, traditional success seemed to me to be a lawyer or a doctor. So I went to law school, but I absolutely hated being an attorney. It wasn't the thing that I was passionate about. I'm a shopaholic, fashionista. I love the treasure hunt, looking for steals and deals. I started selling on eBay my own designer clothing, shoes, and accessories. And I kind of became hooked on this process. My kids left for school, and boom, work mode turned on. I wore all the hats, created the listings, took the photographs, answered all the questions, did the shipping. My husband, like a year in, said, "You have a great business. I'm gonna quit my job." I mean, what? You're gonna quit your job and we're going to do this? And we took this leap of faith together. We moved to a 6,000 square foot office. Within 2 years, we outgrew that space and moved to a 15,000 square foot space, then a 25,000 square foot space. And now we are in a 100,000 square foot warehouse that I say is filled of fun and fashion. People listing product, people photographing product, people shipping product, people authenticating product, because everything that we sell is authentic. When I started the business, it was mostly pre-owned. That's evolved too. We get product from retailers, from manufacturers, from designers. People have said, "Oh, Linda Lightman, the queen of eBay." I'll take that. That's a compliment. I've hitched my wagon to eBay and we never looked back. When I started my business, we were selling hundreds of items. Now we're shipping thousands of items a day. In a world where venture capital money is being thrown at businesses who do what I do, I still own 100% of this business. I love what I'm doing. I'm happy. This is my purpose. I get to come here every day and enjoy what I do.
Welcome, Linda. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity.
It's clear that you have done an incredible job building your brand. How does it feel being dubbed the queen of eBay?
So, you know that old adage, like, love what you do what you love, and you're never going to feel like you work a day in your life? That's how I feel. Being a lawyer just didn't do it for me. My passion was fashion, and I've been selling on eBay for 21 years. I kind of feel like I've grown up with eBay because I started 21 years ago when eBay was so new. Started in my house, and now, as you said, we're in a 100,000 square foot warehouse, and we have over 100,000 unique items on eBay every day. That's kind of mind-blowing, I think.
Amazing. And finally, we have Mike. Mike has worked at Detroit Axle a long time, starting in his early teens. Now as CEO, he leads the auto remanufacturing business his father started in 1987. What began as a 5-person operation now employs 400 people across 3 warehouses. Let's watch his video.
The company was founded by my pops back in '88, and we started remanufacturing CV joints and rack and pinions. We started selling on eBay, and the opportunities are incredible. We immigrated to this country back in '87. My father had 6 kids, and he had a dream. I would see my father work 12, 14 hours a day. Back then, most of the businesses were tailored to the big 3. And as time went on, automotive factories closed and moved out of town. Vacant buildings were all over, and it's almost surreal, as if there was an exodus. We had it hard over the years because of what happened with the auto industry, but my father, he had his philosophy, and I thought that we can build on his philosophy by expanding more. And when we put our products on eBay, for the first week, we've seen our sales at 1 or 2 a day. And then about a week later, it went up to like 14 orders a day. And then next thing you know, you're doing 10,000 or 11,000 orders a day. We went from serving metropolitan Detroit to serving the whole world through the platform of eBay.
If we compare between before we start eBay and now, we were doing about 3% of what we are doing, and everything because of the vision of my son, Mike.
My dad came to this country with a dream, and now I want to make that come to life. I mean, this is the city that started everything, and we stand on the shoulders of giants that came before us.
Thanks for being part of our panel, Mike.
Thank you for inviting me.
You've proven to be a serious leader in the parts and automotive sector. Why did you start selling on eBay, though?
eBay happened to just fall in our lap, really. Back then, when we got on eBay, we really didn't understand what it meant to sell online. And eBay being so user-friendly, and it made it a lot easier on us to be able to understand what's possible out there in the e-commerce world. And thanks to eBay, we're growing our business substantially over the last 12 or 13 years that we've been on eBay.
Thanks again for being here. Linda, let's start with you, because now we're going to talk about how to stand out and differentiate from the competition. And you've become one of the top sellers for fashion and accessories on eBay. And I'm wondering, have you found that standing out from the competition is an important factor for the growth of Linda's stuff? And if so, if that's been a priority, how have you achieved this?
So absolutely. When I started 21 years ago, there was really no one in the resale market. And we've grown purely on sweat equity. But what's made us successful is that we are nimble and our customer service, right? I think that that's so important. eBay has 180 million worldwide buyers out there. You want to respond to their questions. And I think customer service is what separates us from our competition. Being able to answer those questions from potential buyers, being able to take great pictures and ship our items for free and very quickly. And that sets us aside. We are going to answer every question, whether the item is $29 or $2,900. We're here for our community.
Great, thank you. Jim, over to you. You sell clocks as well as clock parts, all shapes and sizes. Is there anything that's really a priority for you that you're super particular about when it comes to your listings?
Pictures, pictures. So many times you find that people don't read the descriptions, but they go on pictures. So if you have very good pictures, they're going to understand what they're going to get. Customer service is the most important thing. Letting our customers know that we have an expertise in what they're purchasing puts us stands us way far above all of our competition. Just being able to let them know they can send a question and find out whether a certain balance staff, which is about this small, will fit and be able to repair their watch. And knowing that and having the resources to do that is all part of what we do here at JR Clocker.
Okay, thanks. And Mike, how about you? You went from serving the Detroit area to serving literally the world. How do you help Detroit Axle stand out in such a huge way?
Well, in the auto business, consistency and reliability is important. So, nothing's supposed to be easy, and everything's a real struggle. From day one till right now, it doesn't get easier. It's not supposed to. If it was easy, you'll be doing something wrong. So yeah, you got to put in there. You got to fight every day, and that reliability is what people would prefer, and the consistency is what they're looking for. So that our effort over time shows that we care about the customer.
Now, each of you run unique businesses, which means you have unique challenges, unique opportunities. Let's drill down a little bit on each of your approach. And Mike, sticking with you, the auto industry, of course, has been really heavily affected in Detroit. But somehow you were able to grow and market your business. Any pearls of wisdom on defeating the odds?
Well, I mean, there's no substitute to hard work, really. So you got to understand that the customer's out there. He's trying to get it for the best value he could, the customer understands his best interest is receiving the product, and his best interest is what's in his pocket. So you have to be able to serve him in every way possible. And if you're committed and you're true to the customer, I think you will, in the long term, be successful. You just got to give it 100%.
Jim, as we alluded to earlier, you specialize in what you've called a dying art. What tools do you use to help maintain your business's success in the face of those headwinds?
We use a software called 6-Bit, and that keeps all of our customers every time they've bought from us, how much they've bought from us, when was the last time they bought, and how many years they've been buying, and we keep that in line. And it's very easy we get an offer or something to make sure that, oh yeah, well, I can give you a little bit more off. You've been a customer for 20 years, and so we really specialize in the personal, as all the panelists here today have talked about, their personal customer service. It's a huge benefit. It gives us a big advantage, all of us here.
Linda, one thing I understand your sellers find really important is authenticity. They want to know when they're buying items from you that the coach is really a coach, or whatever brand really is that. How do you approach making sure that your sellers trust in your authenticity of your items?
So, Rebecca, that's such a great question, because early on we realized how important it was to gain the trust of our buyers. Excuse me. Buyers want to know that when you list a Prada handbag, a Gucci handbag, a Coach handbag, that it is authentic. And while many of us in my office have the core competency to authenticate a handbag, we rely on experts. So we work with probably a dozen authenticators all across the country, different authenticators for so many different brands, to make sure that that item is authentic. And we send them detailed pictures. We're happy to send our buyers a certificate of authenticity. I think that really helps repeat buyers have confidence. I've so often heard buyers say they love buying from us because they trust that what they're getting is the real deal.
So now let's talk for a few minutes about sourcing. And don't worry, I am not going to ask for any of your secrets. I know that sourcing is a carefully held secret for many people. But, I think we can discuss approaches and strategies without asking where you actually find all your great stuff. So keeping things general. In light of clock and clock repair shops shrinking in numbers, as we discussed earlier, sounds like you just recently bought a bunch of stuff, but where do you manage to source your huge warehouse of inventory from?
Well, currently we have 4,500 square feet of storage space, which warehouse space, which is absolutely totally packed. We buy clock shops, we buy watch shops, we go to auctions. Not so much during COVID, but now with the clock shop open, we bought 60 clocks last week through the clock shop. We bought 4 or 5 watches today. So it all comes through. The biggest thing that we want is margin. We have to have good margin, because this business will eat you up because there's lots of things I buy that I'll be hanging on for years to distribute it all. So you have to have good margins in order to do that. So we have a lane that we've chosen, and that's clocks and watches, and that's the lane we think we can be very competitive in, and that's what we're after.
I think that's so interesting. And each of you really has chosen your lane and really made a success out of that particular focus and specialty. Mike, how about you? What are your sourcing tips? And can you talk to us a little bit about what products you source internationally? Which ones are sourced right here in the U.S.?
Well, we remanufacture transmissions and other car component axles and rack and pinions, and we source them from core suppliers and used auto parts all over the country. Aftermarket products are from Asia, Europe, and some here are sourced here locally in the U.S. But when somebody's out there trying to source. I mean, what they're trying to do is get to the actual source. You've got to get to the source. That's the only way you can cut the middleman out. And that's what the consumers are doing online. They're trying to cut the middleman for the distribution. So it's imperative that you find who the source is and you go straight to the source. Margins, if you're trying to grow your business, you shouldn't be looking for margins. That's not important. Profit's not even important. The most important thing is to try to grow your business. And if that means that you get a little less than everybody else, so be it. You got to just keep pounding away. Trying to retire off every sale is very, very not a clever idea. You got to give them the value. And when you give them the value, you make him want to come buy from you again. And having him as a customer for a long time, it's what it's all about. And that should be your main and only concern. Sometimes you might have to lose to win. Whether there be refunds or returns, you're paying for the returns. It doesn't matter. That's not important. It's important is that you get the customer taken care of. That should be job number one.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Linda, turning to you, tell us a little bit about how you source and manage your inventory. And specifically, let's focus in on what's your process of onboarding clients and listing their products, and how has your approach to that evolved throughout your business?
So first, I'm going to tackle sourcing. We don't source inventory in the way Mike or Jim do because everything that we do is consigned. It's people like all of us here sending us those items that they no longer want, use, or wear. But as our business grew and evolved over the years, it became not just individuals like us, it became manufacturers and designers and small chain stores and huge online retailers. I mean, you guys would be shocked at who is consigning with us. And it's great because when we started, it was just pre-owned. And as we've grown to have a tremendous inventory of new product from stores. And unfortunately, when COVID hit, we were really able to help out those small stores and help them sell those items that they couldn't sell during COVID. They maybe didn't have an online footprint, and we were there to help them. And so I'm really proud of that, how we've grown and evolved. And then in terms of managing our inventory, we use Salesforce and we use Channel Advisor. So I think that our process of onboarding clients has really become so easy. I love our portal. We have proprietary software, so a client can come on, just sign up online, and automatically those labels get emailed. And it's just wonderful, to see that our consignor base is all over the United States and international as well.
So last question. We know that there's a lot of sellers tuning in today that are maybe just starting off as sellers. Maybe some have been selling for a while now, but all of them are looking to grow their business. And I would love to wrap up by having each of you share one key piece of advice that you would give to sellers who are looking to accelerate. Linda, let's start with you.
So I think Jim and Mike have both alluded to this, and I think it's all about passion. Find that thing that you are passionate about. And for me, it was fashion. And I always say coming to our office is like 100,000 square feet of fun and fashion, because it really is. But it's that thing that you are passionate about. And I started my career as an attorney, and it didn't really make me happy. And fashion just always lit me up. So for me, that's what it was all about. And, one thing I didn't say, Rebecca, that I think is important to note, when I started the business, it was just me wearing all of the hats. And over 21 years, we've evolved and we've grown, but we took baby steps. So while I would advise everyone to find that thing that you're passionate about, don't just jump all in. Take baby steps. So for us, we started in our house. My husband said, "You have a great business. I'm going to quit my job." He's also a lawyer. And let's take it to the next level. And we've never looked back 21 years later. And I think we did take those baby steps. We moved from our house to a 5,000 square foot warehouse to 25,000 to 58,000 and now to 100,000. And we did it over a time. So passion and baby steps.
Great. That's great advice. Jim, how about you? What's your one tip or advice for someone who is looking to grow their business right now?
One, you got to learn what you're selling inside out, upside down. You know, you have to know, you have to be an expert. Anybody, and I try to get, you look at Linda. I mean, there's a million people selling fashion on eBay, but there's only a few that are selling it like Linda. It's the same thing with Mike. There's only a few people selling what he does. And there's others. There's fine examples who I know are going to be on the panels that are the same way. Learn, pick the brains of people that are doing it successfully. Send a seller that's doing well questions. They'll answer you. If they're good sellers, they'll answer you.
Great, thank you. And Mike, close us out. What's your big piece of advice for someone who is just starting out, maybe experienced, but really wants to go to that next level?
Well, first things, I mean, you shouldn't be fearful of anything, right? You just got to be brave and you go at it. I can tell the sellers that they shouldn't never go cheap on your shipping. So good luck to you and don't be afraid. I know you can do it.
Okay, lightning round. What is your favorite eBay tool? And Linda, we'll start with you.
My favorite eBay tool, hands down, is best offers. It gives buyers that ability to feel that they're negotiating with us. So if we list something for $100 and they offer us $75, we are going to accept that offer every day, every time. And I love it. Then recently, eBay came up with seller initiated offer, and that has shown us conversion, the likes of which we haven't seen since best offer began many, many years ago. And that gives us the ability to send offers to buyers who are simply watching our item. You're watching our item and we'll give you an offer of sometimes 25% off, and it's shown great conversion. So I recommend it to anyone who's watching on this panel. It's great.
I don't know. I really don't have a favorite tool. I guess eBay in itself is a great tool if you wanna be successful in e-commerce. Really, and the best thing about eBay is they show their sellers respect, and we appreciate that, and they take care of their sellers, and so that's kudos to them.
That's a totally fair answer. We'll take it. And Jim, how about you? What's your favorite tool?
Well, there's a recently added tool which I really love, and that's send watchers offers or send offers. And I use it in a little unique way. I'll put my store on sale 10% off. And then when I get likes, I'll collect about, I usually get a couple hundred likes a day, and I'll send them a little offer. Hey, I can offer you an extra 10% off, but it's time based. It's only good for 48 hours. And I'm sending it to 3 other people. And it really just drives sales because they're getting a little extra for their effort to watch something that I do. And the other reason I use it too is I watch the flow of how many people are going through my store by how many likes I'm getting, because any watchers that I'm getting. Because you only can send offers to people that are watching and only recently watching. And so once I clear them, I can see how fast they repopulate. And it really helps me judge what I'm doing. Now, some things I put 5%, 15%, but I get that little extra. It's a push them over the line and get them to purchase. It's really been a great tool. And I think some of the other panelists will agree it's a great tool.
Great. Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Jim, so much for joining this panel. That does conclude our panel on how I built my business. I know that all of the sellers watching appreciate your time, appreciate your insight. I sure do. Thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. And thank you, audience and guests, for attending this eBay Open session.